Hey everybody, the Chang here with a review on the Girsan MC14-T. It is a 380 Beretta clone. It is a clone of the Beretta 80 series 380s. Got one of these. Saw that EAA or Girsan was introducing one of these to the U.S. market. Waited a while for it to come in. I have a client of mine that has one hand, and we were looking for a solution where it would allow this shooter to not have to rack the slide. Now we do see here that the slide is to the rear, so that's just actually for us to actually do our safety check here. But if we take a look at this gun, has a cool feature where if I hit this switch, the barrel tips up. I would insert my 380 here, then take my full magazine, of course, empty magazine here, throw that in, push that down, no need to rack the slide at all, go full on into double action mode, and then upon firing, of course, this like most of the like the Beretta it's cloned after the slide cycles, you go to single action mode, and you can press the trigger. So, got it out to the range today, fired, I would say 100 or so rounds through it, 20 rounds of this defensive ammo, 20 rounds of some Remington defensive ammo, both fed flawlessly. I did do a little extra lubrication when I got it out of the box yesterday before I took it to the range. But came home, wanted to actually clean it before we take it to the lesson on Monday, and was reading the owner's manual and suddenly was confronted with the idea that this gun doesn't actually field strip. So according to the owner's manual, the field stripping of this firearm is this condition is considered field stripping. So it does allow me access to the barrel, but I'm really not able to get inside the frame or anything like to do traditional cleaning. Evidently, what I would need to do is actually punch these pins out or remove these pins, punch this out, remove the barrel. Then I could actually take the recoil spring out, which I don't know if y'all can see. It's right about here. And then the slide would come off. So according to the manufacturer, this is as far as I need to take it. So I'm going to be cleaning it like this, and then we'll see how it works long term. But at the end of the day, it's a pretty neat pistol. I'm so used to the polymer guns. I don't know that this would end up in my carry rotation. It is heavy, right? It's an all-metal gun. So I do have a scale here. You see it off to the side here. I'll put it over here. And it is set in ounces. So let's go ahead and weigh this. It's a little hard to see, but it looks like it is 1 pound, 7.35 ounces. And for comparison here, I have my daily carry, which is a 365, and that's 1 pound, 3.44 ounces. So numbers wise, it doesn't seem that much, but over a day's period, 8 hours worth of carrying, you're probably going to feel those ounces, right? In the climbing world, at least, they say ounces equals pounds and pounds equals pain. So at the end of the day, for me, this will be just a range gun. This will also be something that I'll be introducing to any of the clients who truly physically can't actually work a slide. From my personal philosophy and how I often teach most of my students, at the end of the day, working a slide is more of a technique issue than it is a strength issue. But if there are folks who truly have those issues with racking a slide, and this slide's actually pretty hard to rack, I'd go with this tip-up barrel style, because really you don't actually ever have to manipulate the slide unless you have to deal with any sort of malfunctions that require locking the slide to the rear. Another issue, or not issue, but I would say a complaint, is that there isn't a decocking lever. So let me go ahead and get this all closed up. So we'll snap that barrel back down, close the slide. Notice there's no decocker. So if I wanted to carry this, I could do cocked and lock with the safety up, but if I wanted to actually, lower the hammer so I could carry this in full-on double action mode, I do have to manually decock this hammer. So, I can use the pinching method here and slowly lower this. I'm not a big fan of doing that. I'm also not a really big fan of putting the thumb in there and then dropping the hammer. So, if I were to have a complaint, that's my major complaint about this. Now, in terms of it fitting my hand, it's actually fairly large. Notice how I can't get my thumb and my middle finger to actually touch. So that's usually an indication that that gun is too big for my hand. So maybe a thinner set of grips, but if you notice, these grip panels aren't that big. So anyway, there you go. Thought you all might want to check that out and see. Fairly inexpensive gun, and like I said, if you are one of those folks that's introducing your friends and your family to shooting, and some of them have issues with racking and slide, this may be an option for you. So there you go, my initial thoughts here. I'll start putting more rounds through that as I can. I wouldn't expect anything happening fairly soon. 380 is kind of expensive, 9mm is still much cheaper. But there you go. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you found it helpful at some level. If you did, please give us a thumbs up. Please give us a subscribe to the channel as well. And then click that bell notification. It's off to the right there, so that you can be notified of any content that we might post. Thank you so much. Stay safe, and we'll see you all out on the range.